Alrighty, we're gonna jump right in. So it was another 20 years after the Roanoke colony before the English tried to settle again in North America. When they did, 100 Englishmen and boys sailed up a river from the Atlantic Ocean and named the river James in honor of the King of England. The settlement they founded was called Jamestown. Like the other English settlers, the people who came to Jamestown met the Native Americans who were already living in the area. The English wanted to trade goods with them and were especially interested in acquiring the Native Americans' beaver and deer skins to send back to England, where they were able to sell them for a high price. As time passed, more and more settlers from Great Britain arrived in North America, all up and down the East Coast. They formed colonies where they started lives for themselves. By 1732, there were 13 British colonies in North America: Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. The British did not accomplish all this hard work of setting up the colonies all by themselves, though. They especially needed lots of helpers to clear the farmland. European ships brought people taken from Africa all the way to Jamestown up here. They were called indentured servants. This meant that they were forced to work with no pay for the English colonists for a certain number of years. During this time, the Africans were not free to live or work anywhere else until they had finished working for the agreed upon number of years. After that time, they were free to live and work where they wanted and be paid for that work. As the British colonies grew more and more, workers were needed, but before long, many people from Africa were forced to come to North America and were no longer treated as indentured servants. They were slaves. The slaves did not share the same freedoms enjoyed by the colonists. They could not leave their farms without permission, and it was against the law for anyone to teach a slave to read. As the colonists settled in the colonies, more changes were to come. So I want you to think as we went through this, think about the question, why was Roanoke Island called the Lost Colony? Who were the first people to settle in North America, or to live in North America? And who were the first people to settle in North America? And finally, how many British colonies were settled in North America?